You're welcome back to a session with me, Edu Ada. Uh, Thank you for its support. Thank you. Quickly, we're talking about division of fractions. In the previous video, under fraction, we spoke about multiplication of fractions. And under multiplication, we made it known that there are two approaches. If you are having fractions, permit me, if you have fractions a upon b being multiplied by c upon d, how do you go? I gave the advice, or I said the way is done is you go diagonally. That's how you cut them out. The same thing is applicable. The same thing is applicable to division of fractions. If you have a upon b divided by c upon d, what do you have? You also go diagonally, but the only difference here is the division will have to change to multiplication. So as soon as it changes, let's see what happens. You're going, okay, let me have this. Let's see what happens. You're going to be having a upon b, then this changes to multiplication. So there will be a swap of both numerator and denominator. You have d upon c instead of the c upon d initially. So having gotten this, then you can now move and cut diagonally. Or you go by the second approach by multiplying the numerators and the denominators together. So let's have some examples. Let's see this. If you're having have 4 have 4 have 4 upon 3 divided by 16 upon 9, how do we go? The first thing, the division will always change to multiplication. So when the division changes to multiplication, what do you have? We are going to be having, let me divide my board. So I'm going to be having 4 upon 3, then times the fraction on the right hand side will somersault. So such that when to somersault, you are going to be having 9 upon 16. Then here we go. You can now walk diagonally and get your work done. So we can move this way. You divide, or I say cut diagonally. So what do we have? Let me clear this place. So what do we have? We have 3 in 3, 1, 3 in 9, 3, then 4 here, 1, 4 here, we have 4. Can we still cut diagonally? 1 and 3, they don't have a common factor except 1. The same thing for 1 and 4. So we are having 1 over 1. 1 over 1. Then times 3 over 4. And that eventually becomes 3 over 4. I'm sure you have gotten that. Let me buttress on that with another example. If you are having a mixed fraction to be divided, what do you how do we go? You have 6 whole number 1 upon 3. So that will give us let me change this. I have a 5 whole number 1 upon 3 divided by 4 whole number. And so we have 4 whole number, 4 upon 3. How do we go? First and foremost, like I said, in the subtraction of fractions, you have whole numbers. You cannot divide the whole numbers then divide the fractions. You have to carry them along. Yes, as you move. So what you do here is, okay, change each of them to improper fractions. So by the time you change this, you have 3 times this. That is 15 plus 1. So you have 16 upon 3. Wait, you are still maintaining your division sign. 3 times this, 12 plus 4. You have 16 upon 3 too. Can you see that? So 16 upon 3 divided by 16 upon 3. What do you have? You move this way. You have this. You change your multiplication sign, your division sign rather, to multiplication sign. You have 16 upon 3. Then it's become multiplication. As soon as you have multiplication with the division change to multiplication, then the fraction at the right hand side somersault such that the denominator becomes the numerator and the numerator becomes the denominator. So you have 3 upon 16. In fact, from here, any number divided by the same number is 1. Just to confirm that, if you have changed this to multiplication, we will be having 16 upon 3 times 3 upon 16, and this 16 in 16, of course, is 1. 16 in 16 is 1. 3 in 3, 1. 3 in 3, 1. So you have 1 over 1. 1 upon 1 times 1 upon 1. So what do we have eventually? So 1 upon 1 times 1 upon 1. What would that give us? It's going to be giving us, that will give us 1 times 1, 1 over 1 times 1, 1, and that becomes just 1. So thank you for staying with me on this uh, session. So let me give you some questions to work on, such that if you have any question, you can reach me via, or just make use of the comment section. Then you can have results or answers to your questions. You can also be rest assured that other aspects of fraction will be creating videos on them soon. So you have something like this to work on, divided by, okay, 2 upon 3. Yes, that's 1. Then 2, you have 4 whole number. 1 upon 2 divided by 3 whole number, 1 upon 2. So you can play with that. Thank you. See you in the next video.